I'm a big believer in finding the source of a problem and addressing it at the root. But the difficulty now is that the source isn't a single policy, person, or institution. It's expansive, it's structural, it touches everything. It's woven into how money moves, how attention is captured, how incentives are rewarded, and how people are conditioned to wait instead of act. And here we are, working harder, thinking faster, consuming more information than any generation before us, yet getting sicker, more anxious, and poorer in real terms, while a shrinking layer at the top continues to prosper beyond historical precedent. This isn't because the public is unaware or incapable. It's because the problem has been distributed so widely that it feels ungraspable, and that sense of overwhelm itself becomes part of the control. Which leads to the more uncomfortable truth: no one is coming to save us, and the longer we wait for that intervention, the worse the conditions quietly become. We keep projecting hope outward, onto leaders, movements, disclosures, elections, technologies, as if relief is scheduled to arrive from somewhere else, someday soon. But that expectation has become the paralysis. Every time things tighten, the response is the same. Just hold on, something big is about to happen. Someone will step in. Meanwhile, systems centralize, attention fragments, incentives decay, and individuals burn out. Waiting replaces responsibility. Hope gets outsourced. And the irony is brutal. Belief in rescue keeps people compliant, while the machinery that's making life harder continues uninterrupted. History is clear on this point. Societies don't decline because people lack intelligence or courage, but because they delay ownership, assuming correction will arrive externally. No hero arrives. No switch flips. Change only begins when enough individuals stop bargaining with the future and reclaim authority over how they think, what they tolerate, what they reinforce, and where they place their attention. Until then, deterioration doesn't announce itself as catastrophe. It shows up as normalization. And normalization is how decline becomes permanent. Taking responsibility doesn't look like grand rebellion, viral movements, or dramatic gestures. It looks far quieter and far more uncomfortable, which is exactly why systems prefer you waiting instead. Responsibility begins when a person stops outsourcing agency to leaders, institutions, trends, or future events and starts governing the few things that actually move power: attention, behavior, consent, and reinforcement. Systems benefit when people remain psychologically deferred, always waiting for permission, rescue, validation, or the right moment. Because waiting keeps energy suspended and unfocused. A waiting population consumes, reacts, argues, and hopes, but it doesn't reorganize its life, values, or incentives. Real responsibility looks like refusing narratives that don't match lived reality, declining participation in incentives that hollow you out even when they're normalized, regulating impulse instead of feeding it, building resilience instead of demanding comfort, and withdrawing attention from systems that thrive on outrage, fear, and dependency. This is precisely what large systems cannot afford en masse. Individuals who no longer need to be emotionally steered, who don't confuse noise for progress, and who don't require external permission to act with clarity. Waiting is profitable because it delays this shift indefinitely. Responsibility collapses the illusion of helplessness. And once that illusion breaks, systems lose their most reliable resource. Not compliance, but consent given unconsciously. Good and evil are not armies marching toward you. They are choices asking to be integrated rather than denied. The world does not collapse from hatred alone, but from unattended attention, from lives surrendered to noise, comfort, and borrowed meaning. When you gather the broken pieces of yourself, discipline and mercy, reason and wonder, strength and restraint, you quietly heal more than a single life, because order restored at the center echoes outward. This is the old secret hidden in plain sight. As above, so below. As within, so without. The universe does not need your fear or your worship. It responds to your coherence. And when enough men and women remember how to hold that center, the age does not end in fire or salvation, but in repair. Humanfluence, out.